and welcome. This video is the final goodbye to my 2021 Volkswagen ID.4 electrical vehicle. I have owned this car for 3 years and just under 35,000 miles, and can tell you that hands down, in my book, this is the best city and a commuter car I have ever owned. And you know, some people can tell you that, well, I have owned such a car and did absolutely nothing to it. But with an exception of this, that, and the other, some maintenance, and a little bit of this and that. Well, here I did absolutely nothing, not a dime. I have not taken it to a dealership with an exception of one recall. It was a major, they did a lot of different things to it, but it went to the dealership just once. I love the exterior design of this car. It is classy and composed. Interior, great balance of ergonomics, quality, and selection of materials. Generous space in the luggage compartment and spacious for 5 people. Adults, my son is 6 feet in the back, no issues whatsoever. This is definitely not a boring vehicle to look at, and the combination of silver and black is again very classy, and I cannot think of a better combo, the color combo of the exterior. And look at all of these lines, the hood, and it continues. This line continues all the way through. This line goes all the way through the back. And this is again sort of Porsche Audi looking like hip in here. The rear continues light that goes across the vehicle through the back. Is Porsche-like. I like this plastic element here. I know some people might think it's cheap, but it's functional. If you touch something when you're backing up against something, not a big deal. Very easy to fix or even replace, is going to be a lot cheaper. You don't even need to paint it, buy it, clip it on, and you go. This panels here, and the plastic is not cheap either. It's well texturized. It's, it has some give in, so if you brush against even a curb, it will just dent in, or accept it, flex through, and pops out. And this 19-inch stock wheels fill in the arches very nicely. The window glass is not too wide, and even though mine is tinted firmly, especially in the back, it's not, the sun is just not blazing on you when it's hot. I like how it goes from the front up and then slides in the back. And even with this sort of lining of the top, they did not suffer the space for the rear passengers. There is plenty of headroom for me, although it does look really nice. A big spoiler here on top of the door. A very good looking car. This car is just built to last. Everything is sitting together very tightly. It's a high quality build. Materials are put together very well, high level of execution. There are no squeaks or loose panels after 35,000 miles. The ride is solid, quiet, and the car handles really, really good. The steering wheel is probably one of the best in the EV family. It's a classy Volkswagen, although I would appreciate just physical buttons here, but it is what it is. I like the flat section at the bottom. 2 monitors. They are made out of the black material with the black dark mode background. It's very relaxing here. It's not flashing at you. Good size, moderate, but just what you need. Soft touch panel of the top of the dash. The same with top of the doors. Everything you touch here is just built very well. I appreciate the dark headliner after 35,000 miles. It's like brand new. And these seats do not have a lot of adjustments, but they are comfortable. They support me very well. Just enough for my back, sides, the same on the cushion. Good amount of storage. I wish this would be used somehow, some way. sort of like wasted space, but still, even like that, plenty of. You have couple organizers here, either for your bottles, or you can remove them, adjust, and just to make one big compartment. Charger for your phone. Cup holders here. This also is removable. You can make a big storage in there. Cup holders, bottle holders in the door panels. I love this sort of secret. You can hide things in there. Decent size of the glove box. Ergonomics are phenomenal of this car. And everything is where it should be. All the controls, it's conventional. The vents are here. By the way, the AC and heater are excellent. Provide plenty of circulation. In the back, here, I sit behind myself pretty much. And look how much space there is. Plenty of space. You got storage compartment. One negative from me would be that there is no spare tire. I do not appreciate that. I think there should be at least, the donut in every single car. This repair kit is a joke. So now, putting everything together, how much this vehicle has to offer in terms of the ergonomics and capacities for passengers and your cargo, also with the quality of the build of the interior and the exterior, the footprint of this vehicle is not that big, although it is, as I showed you, very spacious on the inside. So this will allow you to use this EV for, your everyday transportation as a commuter, as your family car to pick up and drop off your kids. Uber, you can haul passengers, you can haul your equipment in the back. You can use it for anything. And I don't think there are a lot of vehicles in general that can offer so much as this Volkswagen ID.4, and definitely not in the price range where this ID.4 stands and compares to the rest of the EVs. When the car was purchased, it was a commuter and a family vehicle. But now I do not have to drive to office and back every day, and the kids are driving on their own. And with me continuously reviewing, repairing, and transporting other cars, this one is just sitting as an extra insurance and extra spot in the garage. And with a decent offer from Carvana, I decided to let it go. Plus, the vibe of the EV ownership is sort of liquid right now, so it's not firm, and the gears potentially could be changing, and the depreciation might hit hard. So all in all, I put everything together and I thought now is the good time to go. For me, with cars, it's like with stock market. The most important is to let it go right on time. And I felt now is the time. By the way, if you decide to sell one of these, make sure that you do all the recalls. Then you will get a proper amount of money in your offer. Now about the negatives. Yes, everything has negatives, even this perfect Volkswagen ID.4. By the way, they are all minor and all related to the software. Number one, the parking distance control sensors are very sensitive to the dust. And when dusty or dirty, send messages on your dash all the time that your maneuvering system is at fault, so make sure you clean or stop by the dealership. Number two, when the car was on its first year of ownership with me, it did freak out on me a couple of times with a bunch of red faulty messages on the dash, but those were easy to disappear after just restart of the vehicle. I shut it off, walked out of the car, locked it, unlocked it, got back, start, no issues. The most annoying is when you're backing up, the beeping would not stop after you even shut off and walked and locked the car. It would just keep beeping. The only reason to disengage that was to lock the car and walk away, and after a few minutes it stopped. I know it was annoying, a lot of people would freak out, but not a big deal for me. By the way, all of these issues disappeared when the main software update happened. And if you think these issues are huge, or someone would tell you that their EV, especially Tesla, are absolutely perfect and zero issues, don't believe that. Well, my Tesla Model S had a bunch of issues. For example, the dashboard cover, the upper section of it was flimsy, it was rattling, and there was a recall. And when the recall took place, I saw how the guy who came here actually did it in my driveway. Just picked it up on few clips. The door panels were making noise. The door handle, on the Tesla, they are sliding out temperamentally once in a while. Without any reason, one of the door handles would not slide out. When I called the guy a couple times, they came out and they could not repeat that, so I had to deal with that. A couple times I did lose my music app on the Tesla, and it took a while. I had to call, and it took probably like every single time about an hour of time for them to reset, find it, what took place. Main motherboard got fried, so half of my electronics, thankfully the car was still driving, but half of the electronics disappeared, and I at first did not know what happened, as every single time another issue after an update, Tesla would be slow to start. So you press the button to go, and it would take sometimes up to a minute for it to wake up. But that time it just did not completely wake up. It took a few minutes. It finally did awake, and we started driving, but then I took it to Tesla and they said it's the main motherboard. It took them over 2 weeks to get it fixed. I'm not complaining about either car, this VW or Tesla, as like people, cars get sick. What I'm telling you is that nothing is perfect, but this car is very well balanced and, in my book, the best EV on the market. Now let's talk about how this ID.4 drives. This spaceship-like sound when you're backing out or driving basically under 21 miles per hour, I think is cool. My Tesla was not making this. Not sure if Tesla, I think Tesla has an option now to make a sound, and that just sends message to the people, and I think it's needed, especially when you drive in the neighborhoods. It helps people to know that there is a car. For example, when I have owned a Prius of the first generation, people would get spooked quite often when you approach them and it's quiet. They turn around and there is a car right there. To 22 miles per hour, the sound is gone. It's a very quiet drive. It's not wobbly, it handles the road well. You turn the steering wheel, it goes. It's not mushy, slashy, just right. Tesla was a good car to drive in. I would not complain, but if you need to add space, I know there is a frunk and trunk, but those are not deep enough. Here I was able to transport a couch, a love seat without any issues. But Tesla was driving well, steered well, handled well, held the road well. But Volkswagen is doing it even better. It's a true Volkswagen pedigree experience that you get here. And Tesla, I know, is based on the Mercedes, right, platform, and it probably drives as a good Mercedes, not one of the old ones, but the one that handles well, closer to probably E-Class, which I believe it's based or was based on the E-Class platform. This Volkswagen drives like, I would say, just a wagon, not even an SUV. You turn, It doesn't go sideways. It just holds the road all the time, how it's supposed to. No road noise, good insulation from the road, from the wind at high speed, low speed. You're like home in your comfortable office here at all times. Oh, one of the best things, almost forgot to tell you, is the turning radius. There is no turning radius that I have ever driven in the car would offer such a turn radius. It's absolutely the best, and that you have to take my word for, and if you don't, you have to check it out. Even on small streets, I mean, this is a wider, newer neighborhood street, but check this out. So I'm towards the curb now. I'm going to steer the wheel all the way to the left, and here I know no issues. We'll have probably like 4 feet, 5 feet on the side, you see? But even like in older neighborhoods in California where the streets are narrower, this thing just does the U-turn without any issues. That I will miss for sure. Absolutely amazing. You have to check it out. So that's another element of how well this car is suited to be driven in tight city quarters. If you're living in the megapolis or some busy city streets, this one is great to park, to turn, to drive around. Versatile, balanced, solid, composed. Well done, VW. Yeah, I know I'll be missing this car a lot. I'll probably regret this decision, but you know, it all comes and goes. In conclusion, well, I have enjoyed this Volkswagen a lot, and she did serve her purpose when needed, and she did it very well. She'll be missed. But just like in everything else, we have to move on in the short life that we have here. But, you know, it's a different story for a different chapter in a different book. In any case, if you're looking for the perfectly balanced EV, this is one of them. This is probably the one for you, I would recommend. In terms of the range, capacity, ergonomics, style, and the true Volkswagen driving pedigree, there is nothing else. There is nothing that gets closer, again, within the balance of what this EV has to offer. Definitely get one of these. In terms of range, I've never told you that in the city I would get up to 300 miles easily, and on the freeways I get up to 245 miles per charge. So great SUV, highly recommend. Again, one of the best cars. Well, in terms of the balance and commuter and helper, and if it's not just a vehicle to entertain, this is the best car I have ever owned. So if you like the video, like the car, give us some likes, and drop a short comment at the bottom. I would appreciate it. It just helps the channel, and I know what you like, and always a good I think way and reason to drop something good, so for people when they read later you spread the good word. Helps us, helps you, just send the goodness out there. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you later again. Bye bye.